Hi, Year 3, Mrs. Gray here. I'm going to talk through your art activity today with you, which, as you can see, is all about Roman mosaics. So hopefully last week you completed the work on where the Romans came from and about the land being taken over and how powerful they became. So we're going to look a little bit more about the Romans and the artwork that they did. So we're going to start off by watching a video. It's from Milkshake Monkey, which you might know if you've got younger brothers and sisters, or you might remember yourselves. But it shows us some examples of some Roman mosaics as well, which is why I wanted to show it to you. Okay, so we're going to watch a short clip of that and then we can talk more about the mosaics afterwards.
Hey, Monkey, are you ready for an amazing adventure? Oh, yes, please. I have my adventure book in my backpack and I can't wait to add a new stamp. Today, we're going to learn about mosaics and Romans. Romans? Yes, the Romans ruled over Britain 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years? Wow, that's even older than my nan. Much older, Monkey. Wow, I can't wait. Ready, steady, go! Top numbers! What will we discover? Where will we end up today on Mikey's Amazing Adventures? Hey, what will we see? Hey, what will we see? What will we discover? What will we discover? Where will we end up today? Where will we end up? It's not your Mikey's Amazing Adventures. Welcome to Fishbourne Roman Palace, Chichester. I have some questions. First, why are they called Romans? They're called Romans, Monkey, because they originally came from Rome in Italy. Rome? Romans? Oh, clever, yes. Why doesn't this look like a palace? It looks just like a normal building. This is a museum, Monkey. The original Roman palace was built 2,000 years ago. Sadly, there's only a little bit left inside for us to see, as the rest has crumbled away. But if the Romans were here such a long time ago, why do we still learn about them? When the Romans came to the UK, they brought lots of great things and ideas to improve life here. They brought new vegetables like carrots and herbs like basil to make our food even tastier. They built underground drains that took away dirty water and sewage from their homes. We even think that Roman soldiers found the weather so cold here that they were the first ones to wear socks with their sandals. Socks with sandals? Well, I don't need to do that because I've already got furry feet. Yes, you have. Shall we go inside and see what else we can find out? Yes. Come on, furry feet. We're now inside the old palace. What do you notice about the floors? It looks like someone's drawn pictures all over them. Those weren't drawn on. In Roman times, they used tiny stones and gems of all different colours to create pictures and patterns to decorate the floors and walls of their buildings. They call these mosaics. They look like giant jigsaw puzzles to me. Yes, they do, Monkey. And you probably see mosaics most days, like in a bathroom or at a swimming pool, or even as artwork in a public space. They are great because they're hard-wearing and easy to clean. Yes. Shall we take a look at some of the ancient Roman designs? Yeah, good idea. Oh, this mosaic looks nice, doesn't it? Yes, Monkey. Lovely patterns. Looks a bit like a carpet. It does. Rich Romans use mosaics to show off their wealth. Some are very fancy. Oh, this one is beautiful, isn't it? It is. What can you see? Oh, is that a seahorse? Yes, Monkey. That could be a dragon. I think you're right. And a vase. That's pretty. Oh, I wonder how they did it. Well, Monkey, each mosaic would take ages to build because each stone has to be put down one by one. One by one? That would take forever. Very true. The mosaics are stuck to the ground with cement, which is why they've lasted so many years. I'd love to learn how to make a mosaic. You know, I think I would make one with a banana in it. Great idea, Monkey. Let's see how some milkshakers make theirs.
The milkshakers are being inspired.
Right, I'm not going to show you what they've made because, as you can see that one on there, the children were a lot younger than you. and what you are going to create will be a lot better than what they can do. So I don't want to share those with you just yet on here. So we'll find out a little bit more information about mosaics on there. So we know that obviously they appeared on the floors of Roman buildings, and it was the rich people that would have them, and it would obviously show their wealth as well. So if you were a very wealthy Roman, then you could afford to have mosaics on your floor as well. And they were made up from tiny coloured stones, which are called tesserae. And we saw the man cutting up the tiny stones, didn't we, on the videos? You can see how small they were as well. They show different scenes within history that they did. So they created lots of different types of pictures as well. We can see this one's got a horse here, and they're going into battle by the looks of it as well. So it depicts different pictures in history, a bit like when we take photographs, I suppose, as well. They were putting those on again. So this would show how wealthy you were. If you looked really closely, this is made up of tiny little stones on there. So poor people wouldn't be able to afford them in their homes, but the rich people would have them in their villas. And obviously the richer you were, the bigger you could have your mosaic as well. They'd appear mainly on the floor as well, like you might see in bathrooms or the swimming pools as well. And they were stuck to the floor with mortar, which is a type of cement. And each mosaic used thousands and thousands of pieces to make their patterns. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to make thousands and thousands of pieces on there. The Greeks were actually the first to make mosaics, and they started by using pebbles. And then they also began to use cut stone as well. So the Romans copied the Greeks. Greeks came before the Romans, but they didn't use pebbles. They just cut the stones up as well on there. And they even were very clever and would make signs as well out of their mosaics. These are the tools that the Romans would use. They've got a hardy and a chisel on there, like a hammer, isn't it? And they would use that to cut up the stones that they would have. So it looks quite hard work because they're quite large at the bottom, aren't they, across here, to get those tiny tesserae pieces. Some pieces were even cut down, look at that, 1 to 2 millimeters. That's tiny. If you've got a ruler, have a look. I'm sure some of you already know how long a millimetre is. Have a look on your ruler and you can see how small those pieces were. So they were very intricate patterns that they made on there. And this one is actually a mosaic on here, which can still be seen in Italy now. You can see some of it, unfortunately, it's come off because it is so old, but it actually looks like a painting, doesn't it, on there, rather than being made up of the stone pieces as well. So we don't see lots and lots of bright colours on Roman mosaics because they were made from stone, which is obviously a natural material. So there was particularly, there was lots of red colours as well, but you'd have browns and yellows and things from your stones. So unfortunately, we can't make them too glittery and too bright when we're creating our designs. Might be able to put a little bit. As you can probably imagine, if the floor is made up of tiny little stones, it wouldn't be very comfortable to walk on, would it? Especially in bare feet. But that was okay for the Romans because they had slaves, didn't they? And the slaves would use sand and water and grind down the stones and the mosaics so that they were nice and smooth, so they were nice to walk on as well. So that was a hard job, wasn't it, to do for the slaves on there. I'm going to show you now some examples of some real mosaics on there. So you might want to steal some little bits from these or get some inspiration for your design that you're going to create. So as you can see, there were people in some of the mosaics. I think we've got a sun god here as well. You can actually see the pieces on this one, individual pieces. And then we've got this one with a fish in it. We've got symbols, again, people. This one looks like they're going hunting, doesn't it? They've caught some animals as well. I will put this PowerPoint into the learning area, and you can have a look through and just remind yourselves of these pictures as well. This is a beautiful one as well on the floor. It looks like some petals or some leaves coming out as well. And then you can also see they decorated the borders going around on there. And another one for the floor as well. Again, this one's got the borders going round. And obviously that would take a very, very long time to create. And this one as well, again, you can see some of it, because they're so old, they have unfortunately been damaged, or little pieces have fallen off as well. Right, these are some examples from last year of the finished ones that they made, but it might again give you some ideas about what you can design this week in your art lesson. This one, the person went for a flower, so it's nice. It's quite a simple design on there. It still take a long time to create as well, so don't do too much detail on your design. And they've also thought about the background as well, and used a different colour on the background. This one, again, they looked at the patterns that you can get. This one is, if you're feeling brave, I think, not one that I would choose to do. Okay, so this one's got the symmetrical patterns on there. Again, we've got one on here, and this person was very clever. You can see that they've got all the designs all lined up very neatly. Okay, so it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience as well. This one, someone actually did on the computer at home. So if you're a whiz on the computer and you're able to do things like that, not like me, but if you can do that, then feel free to do your design on a computer as well, if you've got the know-how on that one. This one's lovely with the different colours on here, the scenery in the background. We've got an apple here, so you can take an everyday object and use that as your mosaic design. And you can change the background as well, so you can have quite a simple design and then put some more detail or change the backgrounds on there. And this one is a pumpkin. So it's you might want to do something perhaps about the new year on there. You could do something with larger pieces as well. So when you're creating yours, which you're going to do next week, don't worry if you think, oh, I can't do it really, really, really small like these ones on here. Don't worry, I choose bigger pieces as well, okay? So you can choose larger pieces to put on as well. So how Romans made their mosaics. So we know a little bit about it on there, but you would have an expert mosaic maker, that'd be their job, and they would draw a plan first of the design that they wanted, which is what you're going to do this week. And a very small area of the floor at a time is covered in wet plaster. So it says, why would they only do a small bit at a time? So have a little think back why you think they just do a small part at a time. So hopefully you're thinking along the lines of, if they're using the wet plaster, the wet cement, the mortar, because the pieces are so small, it would take a long time to do that. And if you put too much of the plaster down, it would go dry, wouldn't it, before you were able to put your tiles on there as well. So the mosaic maker would then add small pieces of tiles to the plaster, and the tiles were laid according to the design, so the design that was made first. And obviously they need to follow the design so they get the right picture on there as well, so that you don't go wrong, because once it's gone wrong, it's stuck in the cement, isn't it, on there? And when the mosaics were finished, it would get polished. Can you remember who would polish the different mosaics? Have a little think. Hopefully you've remembered it was the slaves, wasn't it? They got the slaves to do it, and they polished them so the floor was nice and smooth, wasn't it, to walk on as well. So your task this week is to do your design. I've put in some templates into the learning area. You can choose one of the templates. There's a few on there, depending on how brave you are. And then I would like you to do your design on there. You can use felt tip pens, you can use pencil crayons, whatever you've got at home as well. So you can choose different ones. So if you draw the outline of the design on the sheet in pencil first, you can do it on plain paper if you want to, if you're feeling brave. Remember, you can use a variety of colours, but they have to be more natural, earthy colours, okay, like the Romans had. I want you to think about the shape of your design as well, because you're going to be cutting out your tiles next week. You don't want to make it too fiddly for yourself. And then you need to be thinking about next week when you're going to arrange your tiles as well and be gluing them on. So make sure that design is really nice and easy to follow. So I'm going to see if I can bring up those sheets for you. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see these now. So there's this one, which is one that I would probably use because you know how good, especially squirrels know how good I am at art. So you can use this one. There's a few different ones on here, so they're getting smaller. And we've got some different shaped ones, but remember you've got to cut these out next week. Okay, and the smaller one on there. So you can choose some of those ones, or as I said, you can, if you want to, you can do it on plain paper if you need to. On there. When you have done your design about the Romans, so you can choose some that I've shown you today. You can come up with your own design. It doesn't have to be something related to the Romans, okay, because this is a fun art lesson. You might want to do your name. That might be a nice one to do as well. So when you've come up with your design, I want you to evaluate it. So I'll put this sheet in as well on the home learning area for you. So what I'd like you to do is work with a learning partner. So it might be mum or dad or an older brother or sister, whoever's at home with you. So when you've done your design, I want you to write down what you like about your design in here, and then what your learning partner likes about your design. And then you can do this next bit together as well. I want you to think about targets. So now you've done your design, is it the best one that you've done? Is there anything you're going to change to it? Anything that you need to improve on as well? So it might be the shape of the tiles, it might be the colours of the tiles as well on there. So if you can come and think of 3 things that you might improve on your work on there, that would be fabulous. You can do more than one design, obviously. You can choose more than one. It might be nice to do more than one as well, and then you get to choose one that you're going to do next week as well. Okay, so just design it this week. It gives mums and dads time, if you need to, if you haven't got any coloured paper, perhaps next time you go into the supermarket, you can grab some coloured paper. Or, I mean, if you haven't got that option, you could always get some plain paper and colour it in as well. But I'll show you next week how to make your mosaics on there. And I'm sure yours will turn out better than mine as well. Okay. So good luck with that this week. And I'm going to look forward to seeing lots and lots of photos of some fabulous designs I hope that you're going to make on there. So enjoy this task, and I will see you again soon. All right, bye.